So here's what happened. So I get this call or an email from a friend of mine the other day, day before yesterday, and she says, so am I going to, bump into you tomorrow night at the Woody Allen thing? I'm like, what Woody Allen thing? She says, the Woody Allen screening. I said, they're screening his movie? Because he's got a movie out called Hollywood Ending. She says, yeah, they're screening it over at Phipps Plaza, and then there's going to be a Q&A with the director, and, are you going to be there? I'm like, whoa, back up. What do you mean there's going to be a Q&A with the director? She says, yeah, well, he's going to be there, and people are going to be able to ask him questions after seeing the movie. So I'm like, well, when you say the director, okay.
Isn't it Woody?
Was there somebody else directed it? Because once in a while he'll act in other movies that he didn't direct. Or she says, no, Woody Allen. I said, wait, you're telling me Woody Allen is going to Phipps Plaza to see a movie and then answer questions from the audience about his movie? Woody Allen. Because Woody Allen doesn't leave New York. Woody Allen doesn't go out of the house. Sure enough, he was doing a thing last night. It was not a press screening. It was not like a radio station screening. It was exclusively for college students, for film students like Georgia Tech, Georgia State students who were there. And then I guess he's been doing these around the country because he had just come from Austin.
That's so
where
cool.
He had done some. And he is doing a little bit more press for this movie because we saw him on the Today Show yesterday. And then I understand he did a kind of a TV junket at whether the Ritz-Carlton or something yesterday afternoon. No radio though. So I called up some people that I knew and they were like, well, it's just for students. I'm like, come on, you got to let me in. So they called me, all right, we can find a seat for you. I said, can I get, do you think there's any chance I can get, a couple minutes with him? They're like, no, he's not doing any interviews. He's going to go in, answer some questions from students, and that's it. I said, all right, well, if it changes, let me know. So late yesterday afternoon, my phone rings, and it's one of the organizers of this event. They're saying, well, I can throw you on the rope. And what that means is when they walk into the theater, there's like a rope where they set all the TV cameras to just kind of film him walking in. And then they'll throw a mic out and ask him like a question like they do on Access Hollywood, walking into premieres, and you get like 20 seconds before the publisher pulls him away to go to extra or whatever. I'm like, well, what am I going to get out of that? But okay, whatever. So I show up, and as luck would have it, yesterday afternoon, the Atlanta police called that late afternoon, early evening press conference to announce that they had captured that 3-year-old murder of the guy at the MARTA station in Lenox, the Gordon Bynum murder. So all the TV crews that were supposed to be there were pulled off from this event, leaving just me and like some student with a handheld. We were the only.
Unbelievable.
But we ended up getting some time. But what was really cool was so we watched the movie, and it's a funny movie. There's a lot of funny stuff in this movie. Some people liked it, some people had mixed feelings. But then afterwards, he did this Q&A, and he could not have been funnier. It was one of the coolest things I've ever been to. This Q&A session with Woody. He could not have been funnier. He was very humble. His answers were real detailed, and he talked about a lot of different stuff. He had some very funny lines. He was talking about, somebody had asked him, like, why are all your movies in New York? Like, you never make a movie outside New York. Would you ever consider making a movie anywhere else? And he said, no, I really, I love New York. That's my home, and that's the only place, I don't like to sleep in hotels, and I don't want to, I read about these people who make movies like in Africa and China, and they're there for a year filming, living in tents. And he's like, I want to go back home to my apartment at the end of the day and go to sleep. He said, I swear to God, if I wrote the best movie ever written and it took place in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I'd throw it in the trash.
That's hysterical.
Which was very funny. He talked about, have you ever seen in Woody Allen's movies, all the titles at the beginning of the movies are the same. They're just like, it's a black screen with plain white titles. Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't have elaborate titles setups. It's just plain black screen with like typed out who's in the movie. So somebody asked him, why are your titles the same in every movie? It's just like a black screen with plain white typing. And he said, and I swear to God, he said, to be perfectly honest, because it's very cheap to do that way. I send it and they send it back, and he said, I see these movies where the titles take like 45 minutes and they're longer than the movie, and he said, and nobody really reads the titles anyway, so I send it out and it's very cheap to do. And
I believe that.
Sure. And he was talking about acting in his movies, and he said, they asked, like, does he like to act in his movies? And he says, well, I really don't enjoy it that much. But the reality is, every time I want to cast somebody in one of the lead roles, they're usually too busy or they're too expensive, and so I'm the only guy I can get.
And he's a tight one, isn't he?
He said I'm usually the third or fourth choice for the leads. But what was kind of cool about it was, and you know who's in this movie? Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Really? In a Woody Allen movie?
I know. How random is that?
Deborah
Messing too.
Well, Deborah Messing has a major role. She plays like a ditz. The movie is about, it's a movie, he plays like a washed up director who is kind of called out of retirement by his ex-wife, Téa Leoni, to direct this picture for this major studio. Téa Leoni was stolen by the head of the studio. His wife was stolen by the head of the studio, so there's some fun interplay there. But Tiffany Amber Thiessen plays like this starlet who's the lead in his movie, who comes on to him at one point, and she's just there in a bra and panties. So what was cool about it is when you meet him, you know how I was telling the story last week, like when I met Bruce Springsteen at the Braves game, you meet the guy, and you kind of are hoping that when you walk up to a Bruce Springsteen that he's got like a guitar slung over his back and he's hot and sweaty and he's talking about, they closed down the factories. Like, that's Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
Then you meet him and he's like just a regular guy. He's not like the Bruce Springsteen on stage. He's like a normal dude. When you meet Woody Allen, he's Woody Allen.
Yeah, all the time.
When he was on stage answering questions last night, I mean, so we were making the movie, and a very funny story, and so the producer of the movie, and I should say, he like talks. He's Woody Allen when you meet him. He's just like in the movies.
Exactly.
It's kind of cool. So afterwards, when he walked out, or before he walked in, I should say, had a chance to meet with him for just a few minutes.
That's awesome.
And it was very, very cool. Woody Allen, welcome to Atlanta. Welcome to the Morning X. They're watching Hollywood Ending in the other room, and you can hear a lot of big laughs in there. Will you sit in with test audiences? Do you like to see audiences watch your movie to get their reaction, to gauge their reactions?
No, I've never done that. Once I'm finished with my movie, color correcting it and editing it and scoring and all that, I give it to the distributor, and then I never see it again. So I've seen this for the last time 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago. I've already finished writing another movie and casting another movie, and I'm going to begin shooting June 3rd. So this movie to me is old stuff already.
Woody, when you're writing a movie, how will you know if something is funny? How do you measure it? Do you ask your wife? Do you ask Sun Yi? Do you have a group of people that you like to?
No, I don't know. It's all guesswork. I mean, I'm in the room by myself, and I'm just guessing, and I guess right a lot of times, but sometimes I don't, and those are the embarrassing moments.
This movie, Hollywood Ending, another great movie where you kind of have some fun with Hollywood and take, I don't want to say take some shots, but kind of poke fun of some of the silliness of Hollywood, which you did brilliantly in Annie Hall and many of your other movies. And did you find it ironic that as much fun as you poke at Hollywood, the Academy Awards roll around, you walk out on stage, and you get a standing ovation?
I did find it ironic because, but they know that I'm just teasing them. I mean, it isn't, mean-spirited stuff that I've thrown at them over the years. I've kidded them mercilessly because they're so amusing to me, but I've never been really cruel to them or as they say, mean-spirited. So they enjoy actually being teased. The Hollywood jokes get the hugest laughs in Beverly Hills and in Hollywood.
For those of us who are such big fans of yours over the years, what was great about seeing you at the Academy Awards was not seeing you finally at an Academy Awards, but it was seeing you do stand-up comedy, which we haven't seen in years. And every stand-up comedian I've ever talked to, even if they go on to write or direct or act, they always say they're still stand-up comics deep in their heart because you can't beat live laughter. Did you get any of that feeling that night that you hadn't felt in a long time?
Yeah, that's exactly the feeling you get. There's nothing like stand-up comedy. It's just you and the audience, and you tell the jokes, and they laugh at them if you're going well. And it's it's a very exhilarating feeling, really wonderful, and it's just hard to do, but it's wonderful.
People point to different movies in your career, and they say this was his breakthrough movie, that was his breakthrough movie. What do you consider personally your creative breakthrough movie?
I feel I haven't broken through yet. Is the problem?
It wasn't a movie where you thought, now I've got a handle on it.
No, I thought my best movie was Husbands and Wives, but I don't think I've ever broken through. I'm still waiting to be discovered.
Woody Allen, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.